Hey guys, welcome to the show Maraha. I'm back to fitness number 30 and 5 weeks, just under 5 weeks actually now at this stage to go to London City Marathon. So if any of you have been following me lately, you've seen that things have actually been going quite well for me. But the weekend just gone, I had a bit of a wake up call, bit of a disaster regards to the half marathon I was doing to see what time I was going to plan or try to run London in. So we'll go back to last Tuesday. I had a really good session doing 800s. So I did 10 800s continuous. First 800 will be done at half marathon pace, followed by 800 at marathon pace, and continuous like that. The whole idea is in the faster one you build up lactate, and then in the slightly slower one then you're still running pretty fast but trying to forcing the body to deal with the lactate. It's all about improving your lactate threshold, make you more able to run at a consistent pace for a long distance. Now, the session went really well, did 5 of them, 5 miles, 5 sets, so 10 800s. I was hitting then around 6-minute mile pace for the faster ones and about 6:40 for the slower ones, and I was really buzzing after this, like, you know, this is really going well. And that afternoon didn't feel great, didn't really think much of it, thought to myself, did a hard session, of course going to feel a little bit off. So Wednesday, same thing, didn't really feel great. And then Thursday, I woke up Thursday morning with a slight headache and a dry mouth, and I thought, okay, it feels like I had a few beers last night, but I hadn't. The plan Thursday was to do 10 miles steady. So I went to my usual haunt of Shawmore Park on the pitches. The hardest part for this really should be the mental side of it. That's where I done the 800s on Tuesday, because 2 laps of the pitches is exactly 800 meters. So I started to do the session, and I remember thinking on Tuesday I was running around 6:40 for the slower ones. I was thinking, like, I should be able to cruise this, you know, I should be able to cruise the 10 miles at this pace. Wasn't even able to run 6:40, was started off around 6:45 and down to low 6:50s, and was feeling really fatigued, really sluggish. My stride length was really cut and short. It was a real struggle. The hard part was trying to finish it, and I said to myself, if I go over 7-minute mile pace, I'm just going to pull the plug, because there's no point, it's obvious there's something wrong. So I got to 7.5 miles, and I went over 7-minute mile pace, so I just pulled the plug. When I stopped, I realised how wet I was with sweat. I was okay, it's a pretty warm day, didn't really think much of it, just noticed it. So then, because I was doing the half marathon weekend, I decided to just do a short run Friday morning, drop my daughter to school, did like 2 miles home. Weekend came then, as if you've been following me as well, you'd know that it was my mother's 70th birthday weekend, and we all went to stay in a hotel in Clonmel. On a side note, the Manila Hotel in Clonmel was absolutely fantastic. Food, accommodation, setting, absolutely amazing. We had an absolutely great time. Unfortunately for me, there was a lot of driving involved, so that didn't help. And then we were up pretty late Saturday night, didn't have any alcohol. Went to bed, didn't get to bed until about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and then was up pretty early again Sunday morning to drive from Clonmel back to Islegate, where the half marathon was being staged. Just got there in time to get my number and be able to jog down to the start. Now, this is when the alarm bells really started to ring first, is when I jogged down to the start, and my left quad was aching a little bit, and I thought, okay, maybe just being in the car, being a little bit stiff, and once the race starts, and I'll take it easy at the start and just ease into it and be fine. So the race started, and the first 3 miles were a real slog, really tough going, running just over 6:20 pace, and it felt like I was running much harder than that, and the left quad was just aching, and it just gradually got worse and worse and worse. And there was a slight hilly section. We went up one side, and when we came down the other side, it was an agony going downhill. I had decided before we went up the hill that I was done. There was no point in continuing in the race. So there's about another mile mile and a half or 2 miles to get back to the village to where on Bankela was and my daughter. So I stayed running until I got back to the village, and even when I got back to the village, my right quad then was actually starting to ache as well. So unfortunately, you can see here, I had to pull the plug in less than 6 miles in, but I stopped racing after about 3 miles and just kind of ran to meet my wife. Quite disappointing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, I can't explain it. Similar things happened to me in the past, but nothing that specific. Haven't been feeling quite well since. Did an antigen test, so that's after doing 2 actually, and they both came back negative. So I think it's just a bit of a bug I have. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. It's a little bit drawn. I feel a little bit drawn. I'm tired. So everything has to be reassessed. I wasn't able to race and finish my half marathon to give me a time to be able to target a time for London off. My training now is, I wouldn't say in disarray, but it feels at the moment like it's in disarray. Because the day after yesterday, I couldn't even go for a run. I wouldn't run today either. Yesterday my quads felt like I nearly felt like I'd actually ran a marathon the day before, which is pretty horrendous, like considering I only ran a couple of miles and didn't actually run that hard. Today now, after a little bit of work myself, they're a little bit better. I'm hoping tomorrow they'll be a little bit better again, and I'm hoping by the weekend that I can maybe get back running. But I need to be careful because I can't jump back into it and start pushing hard, or else I'll slow down my recovery from whatever it is I picked up. So quite disappointing. Not a complete disaster. A complete disaster would be if I had been racing and everything was going well and my quad went with a tear or something. You know, that would be a complete disaster, because you're talking a couple of weeks to recover fully from something like that. Whereas I think a couple of days of rest and I should be okay. Touch wood. I guess, like I said, I still don't feel great today. But I feel better than I did yesterday. Hoping now, sleep, rest, and hopefully by the weekend, like I said, I can get back on the horse, fingers crossed. So as it stands now, I suppose we're looking at readjusting the target. I was thinking anyway with 250 might have been slightly out of my reach. I would have known if everything had went well over the half marathon. So now we're going to pull it back. At the moment, being pessimistic, I'm going, if I can break 3 hours, I'll be happy. Being optimistic, my New York time is just under 2:55, so try to break that. So we'll see. We'll have a look at it. We'll reassess it. There isn't really an option for racing between now and London. It's basically hopefully get better by the weekend and get back on the horse and get 4 weeks, 4-week training block in, and then the last week before the race just kind of have a mini taper and see how that works out. Now the good thing, like this is a positive, is that this didn't happen the week of the race. Hopefully, like this, when I get over this, I'll be fine and everything will, health-wise, will work out fine leading into the race. That I won't have any more little kind of bugs or colds or anything like that. Touch wood again. These are the joys of not only running but especially trying to run marathons. The marathon is very unforgiving. I've ran enough of them to know that even when everything is going really well, you still have to be really careful. So in a way, the pressure is kind of off me now, in regards that with everything that's happening over the last week, that just getting there and doing the race is going to be a bonus. That's the way I feel at the moment. Maybe in a week or two I might be in a different frame of mind. You just don't know. You have to take it as it comes. You can't get too up or too down. Try and stay as level-headed about it as possible and realise that sometimes there's more important things in life. I'm okay. I'm going to be fine. My family is fine. We're all happy and healthy. That's the most important thing. I'll run again. It mightn't be tomorrow, it might be the next day, but I'll be back out running again. So I'll stay positive for it and optimistic. And each day goes by, I get more positive and optimistic. The key is at times like this is not to let it get you too down, because it's not worth getting too down over. It's only a bit of running. I know it's very important to us, but you have to stay some way positive. Being that glass half full is way better than being that glass half empty. Now, I'd like to thank all the crew, Billy Reckonall down in Islegate. They put on a huge event there again, hugely successful event. I'm delighted to see it's a real community event. It was really high quality. I mean, like the top 6 guys are under 72 minutes. Like that was for a little out of the way race. Like the standard was fantastic. See, friend of the channel, Sean Hare, who won the national 50k the week before, actually went down and raced and still ran down around 71 minutes, 70, I think it was a 71 minutes, something like that. But fair play to him, like, you know, that's some achievement to be able to go and run that fast 7 days after winning a 50k race, like, you know. So fair play, Sean. Well done to Colin Marr from Ballyfin and Laois, the winner. I'd often see Colin running around Dublin here. He's a great runner. He's a great competitor, and fair play to him. And congratulations to my own club, who won the county team title, and to Paul Doran from my club, who was, I think he was 3rd in the county championships. So fair play to you, Paul. Great stuff. Great to see you back running well again after, like I'm going through now, a little bit of bad health. So that's what's after happening the last week, guys. I hope whatever you're doing, whether it's Manchester, Rotterdam, London, Belfast, mountains all over the world, I hope your training is going well and that you're that glass half full. And if you get a little setback, remember that it's, at the end of the day, it's only a race, a bit of running that we do as a hobby. There's none of us, well, maybe some of you are going to the Olympics, but most of the guys I know aren't. So being happy and being healthy are the most important things. So thanks very much, guys, for tuning in. Hopefully next week I'll have a bit more positive news to share with you. Fingers crossed. Take care, and we'll see you soon.